They can finance it through the package, the names of the actors, and the combination, who's directing, etc. But
Clint Eastwood, a Hollywood legend, once named the 7 most beautiful women he could never forget. These women weren't just iconic. They possessed a rare, magnetic allure that transcended symmetry and youth. Their beauty wasn't just seen, but deeply felt, leaving a permanent mark on Hollywood. These women defined an era with their unforgettable qualities. Join us as we explore Eastwood's list of the women who left him speechless. 7. Jean Seberg. Jean Seberg was an enigma. Her beauty was otherworldly, ethereal, almost spectral. Clint Eastwood, still finding his voice as a young actor, had an encounter with Seberg that would haunt him for years. It wasn't the conventional kind of beauty that captivated him. There was no polished Hollywood perfection or overt glamour about her. Instead, it was something more elusive, something that seemed to exist just beyond the tangible. Seberg, born in 1938 in Iowa, became a star as part of the French New Wave, a cinema movement that defied tradition and embraced the avant-garde. Her most iconic role came in the 1960s with Breathless, a film that captured the raw, rebellious spirit of the time. But it wasn't just her cinematic presence that caught the eye, it was her almost ghostly demeanor. There was a fragility to her that made it feel like she might disappear into thin air if you blinked. Yet, this fragility only intensified her allure, casting a quiet, almost haunting shadow on everything around her. Eastwood's rare encounter with Seberg in Paris only deepened the mystery. At the time, he was relatively unknown compared to the established stars of Hollywood, but the brief interaction with Seberg left him mesmerized. What stuck with him wasn't just her striking features or her pixie haircut, which became emblematic of the era. It was something much deeper. There was a sadness in her eyes, a depth that couldn't be faked or manufactured. It was as if she carried a weight that no one could see, a burden that added complexity to her already enigmatic presence. Her beauty, unlike that of many Hollywood stars, wasn't in your face. It wasn't something that demanded attention or applause. Instead, it lingered. It beckoned, subtle and undeniable. Eastwood often spoke of how Seberg's beauty was different, how it wasn't just about how she looked, but about the emotional current she carried. It was the kind of beauty that didn't need words. Her presence alone was enough to captivate, to leave a lasting impression that would not fade over time. Jean Seberg was not just a pretty face. She was a woman whose beauty lived in the spaces between moments, in the quiet that spoke louder than any words could. It's no wonder Clint Eastwood never forgot her. When it comes to a woman like Audrey Hepburn, she wasn't just present. She was a definition of grace that Clint Eastwood couldn't ignore. Let's dive into the next unforgettable face on his list. 6. Marilyn Monroe. The name Marilyn Monroe creates a sequence of visual images which include her signature blonde curls, ruby red lips, and her trademark breathy voice. She represented the pinnacle of Hollywood glamour, which made her the ultimate icon and Hollywood standard of beauty. The dazzling exterior of her personality concealed a more intricate inner nature. Marilyn possessed a seductive beauty that extended beyond her physical attractiveness. The public saw her as an attractive woman, while she internally experienced a hidden weakness that she tried to hide from others. The public saw her as a beautiful woman who had both attractive and unpleasant features, which made her personality appealing to audiences. The public saw her as a woman who exuded beauty, but she used her physical appearance to demonstrate her personal difficulties. The public found Eastwood and many other people to be fascinated by the combination of glamorous beauty and hidden, delicate strength, which made him attractive to others. Monroe attracted people through her physical beauty, but her actual charm came from her ability to connect with viewers about her personal problems. Monroe attracted people because of her physical appearance, but her true appeal extended beyond that. Her body shape, and her smile and her body shape created attraction. The profound depth of her performance showed through her ability to display her character's inner thoughts. Monroe possessed a unique quality that made her different from all other Hollywood stars. for she could express both happiness and sadness through her performances without difficulty, while having a strong emotional impact. She didn't just play the role of the dumb blonde in films like Some Like It Hot or Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. She injected them with a layer of humanity that made her both endearing and tragic. She could make the audience laugh at one moment and then make them feel sad for her during the next moment. The ability to perform a balancing act of this nature proved difficult for most people to accomplish, so Eastwood found her more attractive because of this ability. The public persona she created throughout her life showed the world her real self. Monroe experienced beauty through her battle with self-doubt, which created problems in her relationships while she struggled to meet society's expectations of her perfect appearance. She became a sex figure who displayed her real feelings through her artistic work because she revealed her inner self for all to see. Eastwood admired this duality. Her beauty existed in both her visible and hidden aspects. The most dangerous type of beautiful woman exists because of her ability to control both her appearance and what she hides from others. 5. Raquel Welch. Raquel Welch wasn't just another Hollywood beauty. She was a force of nature that redefined what it meant to be both a symbol and a powerhouse in the industry. From the moment she graced the screen, Welch carried herself with an undeniable self-assurance, turning heads not only with her stunning looks, but with an energy that was impossible to ignore. It wasn't just her beauty that made her stand out in a sea of glamorous stars. It was how she owned it, like armor, an inescapable presence that demanded attention, yet never begged for it. Her beauty wasn't something she apologized for, and that distinction made all the difference. Clint Eastwood, whose career spanned decades of working alongside some of the most iconic women in Hollywood, found himself in awe of Welch for reasons that went beyond her striking features. Yes, she was undeniably beautiful, but it was the way she carried herself that left a lasting mark on Eastwood's memory. She was a woman who never allowed herself to be defined solely by her physical appearance. Where others might have shrunk under the weight of Hollywood's expectations, Raquel Welch refused to be confined by them. She was more than just a pretty face. She was an actress of substance, capable of depth and complexity, traits that Eastwood admired and respected. Unlike many of the era's bombshells, Welch didn't let the industry typecast her into one-dimensional roles. In a town notorious for slotting women into boxes, Welch broke free. Her refusal to be limited by the conventional roles assigned to her became a cornerstone of her career. She wasn't just the pin-up girl or the symbol. She proved herself as an actress with range, choosing roles that challenged the traditional mold of Hollywood beauty. Films like Myra Breckinridge and Kansas City Bomber were a testament to her defiance, showcasing her willingness to tackle controversial and unconventional roles at a time when the industry was still tightly wound around certain expectations. Eastwood's admiration for Welch wasn't just rooted in her ability to turn heads. It was her fearless presence in front of the camera, her unwavering sense of self, and her refusal to bow to the limitations of her time that cemented her as a lasting icon. She wasn't just beautiful, she was powerful, and it was that strength coupled with her magnetic presence that earned her a permanent place in Hollywood history. 4. Audrey Hepburn. The beauty of Audrey Hepburn created a standard that Hollywood conventions could not match. Hepburn created her unique presence in an industry that required actresses to follow strict standards of overwhelming beauty. She appeared delicate, yet her appearance conveyed a deeper strength that went beyond her delicate state. Clint Eastwood, who possessed a tough, rugged personality, became entranced with Hepburn's graceful presence. The star's beauty attracted him, but he found more interest in her hidden strength that existed beyond her physical appearance. Hepburn used her beauty to create a silent presence that lasted without making any sound through her eyes. Her charm came not from her planned visual presentation, which Hollywood required, nor from her precise hairstyle that Hollywood demanded. The entire matter originated from an inner essence that emitted power beyond what could be seen on screen. Hepburn used her power to show her inner world, which contained a complete emotional range and deep emotional states. through her eye contact and brief physical gestures. The woman created a contradictory situation because her delicate nature became her strongest quality. Hepburn used her emotional weakness to demonstrate courage, which created an everlasting impression through her deep emotional presence. Eastwood developed his career through roles that required him to portray tough, silent characters, yet he found Hepburn's delicate silence to be attractive. He appreciated her ability to perform without needing to shout or show her emotions to the audience. She moved through life with a natural dignity that needed no active demonstration. Her extraordinary talent allowed her to show her inner feelings through facial expressions and slight head movements, which created an intense emotional experience for viewers. Hepburn didn't need to attract viewers through her attractive appearance because her natural presence already captured their interest. Her performances showed the same performance style that she maintained. In her performances for Roman Holiday and My Fair Lady, she avoided using excessive body movements and loud emotional expressions. Her message delivery used subtlety, which created an unspoken value that exceeded the power of words. Eastwood recognized her unique strength, which she showed through her ability to be weak while maintaining her confidence. For Eastwood, Hepburn represented the ultimate beauty, which people could both see and experience, because her presence stayed with viewers after the scene finished. But while Audrey Hepburn's grace defined elegance, the next woman on our list brought a bold, unapologetic sensuality that made her presence impossible to ignore. 3. Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren was a force that Hollywood struggled to categorize, a woman whose beauty and presence reshaped the very standards of femininity within the industry. Unlike the typical Hollywood starlet of her time, Loren was not a delicate flower meant to be admired from afar. She was unapologetically sensual, radiating raw power in every scene she inhabited. Her beauty was undeniable, yet it was her confidence and fierceness that truly set her apart. Clint Eastwood, whose own career was grounded in stoic masculinity and rugged charm, couldn't help but be drawn to Loren's magnetic presence. She was not the passive, demure beauty often celebrated in Tinseltown. She was a woman who commanded attention, both with her looks and the undeniable strength she exuded. Loren's physical beauty was profound, her curves, her eyes, the way she moved through a room. But it was her intelligence and wit that truly captivated Eastwood. In an era when women were often relegated to supporting roles defined solely by their attractiveness, Loren broke the mold. She wasn't just beautiful, she was smart, witty, and fiercely independent. Loren carried her beauty like a weapon, using it to her advantage without allowing it to define her entirely. In a time when Hollywood's leading ladies were expected to be seen, but not heard, Loren's outspoken nature and sharp mind made her a revolutionary figure. Eastwood admired her not just for her external allure, but for her inner strength, which was every bit as powerful as her physical presence. What made Loren so dangerous in Eastwood's eyes was how she wielded her power with grace and certainty. There was no attempt to soften herself or conform to Hollywood's prescribed image of femininity. Loren's beauty was not something she sought validation for, she simply embodied it. She never needed to ask for approval. Her self-assuredness was what made her so irresistible. In the rare moments Eastwood encountered her, he saw that she was untouchable, not because she was out of reach, but because she knew her worth without needing anyone else to confirm it. Her unapologetic sensuality, combined with a fierce intellect and undeniable strength, made Sophia Loren an icon whose beauty transcended conventional Hollywood standards. She was, in every sense, a woman who knew the true power of being herself. 2. Ingrid Bergman. The statement conveys that Ingrid Bergman existed in Hollywood as an exceptional figure because her personality displayed complete opposition to the glamorous and artificial nature of her surroundings. The town, which depended on fakehood and specifically designed views of reality, used Bergman as its authentic benchmark. She possessed an authentic self that required no artificial embellishments to achieve. Bergman possessed a different type of beauty than her peers, who depended on their glamorous appearance to establish their business standing. The artist presented himself to the audience in his unrefined state without any facial enhancements. Clint Eastwood, The actor who established the tough guy image found a new form of power through Bergman, who showed her strength through a quiet presence that needed no loud declaration. The European charm of her movements, her graceful way of walking, and her elegant way of standing brought a completely new experience to Hollywood, which usually shows shallow behavior. She didn't need to fit into the mold of a typical Hollywood starlet, nor did she seek to. The Eastwood character who showed deep respect for her personal identity, which she chose to show to the world. The audience noticed her because of her presence, which she maintained without using standard industry methods. Bergman achieved remarkable success when she maintained her personal values during her journey through the Hollywood entertainment world, which values surface appearances more than actual worth. Bergman displayed her beauty through her performance skills, which produced her most beautiful moments. She had an emotional quality that allowed her to connect with audiences during her performances. Her complex character portrayals required more than her facial expressions because she needed to show her complete inner self through her acting. Eastwood saw Bergman as more than an attractive woman. She was a woman who embodied the essence of what it meant to be truly beautiful, not just on the surface, but in the way she inhabited her roles, in the way she made her vulnerability a source of power. Ingrid Bergman commanded respect in an industry where actresses became nothing more than visual elements because she combined her beauty with authentic talent that she displayed in all her performances. True beauty sometimes lies in a woman's ability to change the world around her, whether it's through their strength, authenticity, or the magnetic force they carry. The final woman on Eastwood's list is the embodiment of this kind of beauty. 1. Sondra Locke. Sondra Locke's beauty defied the superficial confines often placed on Hollywood's leading women. Her allure wasn't merely a product of her striking features, it was deeply entwined with the layers of her personal history and the raw vulnerability she brought to every role. In a town that often celebrated flawless exteriors, Locke's beauty was much more complex. It was an emotional landscape, one that Eastwood, with his own often guarded persona, found himself unable to ignore. There was a rawness to Locke that went beyond her physical presence, a vulnerability that somehow felt almost tangible, and that was what left a lasting impression on Clint Eastwood. The actors developed a professional bond through multiple movies, which demonstrated the strong emotional connection they shared as friends. Their on-screen performance displayed an authentic connection, which viewers could see because their characters seemed to share their actual lives. Eastwood frequently shared his thoughts about their work together, explaining that their relationship brought deeper emotional ties that extended beyond what the camera could show. Their on-screen relationship showed more than acting because it presented a true underlying connection between them, which they chose not to disclose. The actors demonstrated their off-screen bond through their high-stakes performances, which displayed their inner emotional battle, while Locke brought his character to life through his emotional performances during their shared scenes. Eastwood found his true attraction to Locke through her ability to show emotional strength. While most actresses received recognition for their refined acting skills and their attractive looks, Locke displayed her authentic self through her performance, which showed her vulnerable side. She approached her work with unreserved honesty, showing all the personal traits which others prefer to keep hidden. Locke delivered two distinct emotional performance styles through her work, which Eastwood held in great admiration. The actress used her physical attractiveness to portray complicated emotional states, which she chose to showcase through her performance. Locke's permanent beauty was established through her physical appearance, which created a powerful emotional response in Eastwood, and her exceptional ability to show her feelings through her facial expressions and her physical beauty, which included her vulnerable side, made her different from others. The combination of their work together and the emotional depth that Locke contributed to the project created a permanent impact that remained in Eastwood's mind, while her physical beauty maintained a permanent position in his past. If you enjoyed diving into the unforgettable women who left an indelible mark on Clint Eastwood's life and career, be sure to hit that like button, comment below, and let us know which of these iconic beauties captivated you the most. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, and stay tuned to watch the next video shown on the screen for even more fascinating topics. Thanks for watching.